Let's talk about probation violations. The biggest problem with these is that they don't have as high a burden of proof when it comes to proving a probation violation as they do on an underlying charge, the original charge. So you may know beyond a reasonable doubt is how they have to prove you guilty in a court of law on a criminal charge. But on a probation violation, it just has to be more likely than not. And that's a lot easier to get to. They just have to tip the scales in one direction versus the other. So they say 51% to say that you violated probation. And typically, it's pretty easy for them to do that. Most times when they've alleged something hasn't been done, or you violated the law in some way, or you screwed up, got a dirty UA, most of the times they allege that, they can prove it pretty easily. So what that means is it becomes a negotiation for me on your behalf to get you the best outcome. And I'm always looking for either a discharge of your probation or a reinstatement of your probation with a minimum of fuss to your life. Probation is meant to give you a second chance or a chance to put the case behind you and not have it put you in jail or prison. If it's deferred, to not have it become a conviction, so you end with a dismissal. And if we can get you back on track on your probation to keep you in line for getting to that other side, it puts the case behind you. So whatever you've done or not done to upset the court about your probation, we have to try to fix that. And there's lots of things that can be done. There's lots of room for creativity and finding things that make a difference. I like to say there's reasons and there's excuses, and you can have things that pop up in your life that create reasons that you had the trouble you did on your probation. You can also have excuses. Excuses don't tend to go very far, but reasons can make a big difference. And so that's what we always try to find when those things are available. Aside from that, there's a lot of things you can do to make your probation go more smoothly, and the biggest thing is to treat your probation officer as a teammate. I tend to repeat these things because they're very important. Treat your probation officer as a teammate, not as an obstacle, because they'll sense that. They'll sense if you treat them as an obstacle, if you're trying to get over on them or get something past them, and then they'll try to be a good player in the game and prevent that from happening. Whereas if you treat them like a teammate, they'll try to be a good player in the game and help you reach your goal. It's as simple as that. I know some people go into probation with kind of a sour attitude, and they sense that right away. So going with a good attitude, and it makes a lot of difference. It can go a long way. Sometimes probation officers try to lay down the law right away by being a little bit of a hard ass, a tough nut, and to some extent you've got to offer your neck in those circumstances to get along and get past that. Once they see that they've established their firm control, then you should be okay. But there are some bad apples too. We've seen and dealt with that too. It can be tough. They can make your life hell. They're certainly in control of a lot of things about your life, including your freedom to some degree. So to the extent you can do everything you're supposed to do successfully, you take that power away. To the extent that you fail from time to time, you give them additional power. So the best defense on probation is doing everything you're supposed to do and not doing the things you're not supposed to do. Secondarily, treat them as a teammate. Third, have a good lawyer to back you up if there's a problem. And I've seen problems, and we've dealt with problems, and we've fixed problems. So that's what it's all about, getting you through it, getting you back on track, trying to find the quickest way to get a warrant off of you or get you out of custody if that befalls you. So give us a call if you have any questions. Leave some comments below. We'll try to answer those. Certainly feel free to call with any questions. I love working on these things for people. And there's lots of ways to try to get those things. Fuck, I just gotta stop.